tasters, welcome to another episode of Tastiness, where we review Weight Watcher friendly recipes. We give them a taste. And today I'm so excited because we're going to be making egg rolls. Yes. It's something that I've seen on Instagram and other forms of social media. People cook. And honestly, I've been kind of afraid to do it. I'm like, I don't know if I could make an egg roll, but Everything Erica, who I follow on Instagram, has made it seem really simple. And I'm going to give it a try today. But these not just your regular egg rolls, tasters. Big Mac egg rolls. Did you get that? We're going to make some Big Mac egg rolls today. I'm so excited to be exploring something different. We're going to give it a taste, let you know what we think about it, and if you should go out and try it yourself. So we're going to begin by browning some ground turkey. I use the 99% lean ground turkey. So I have that here. I'm going to begin by browning that and seasoning it with my salt and pepper. And you all know I like my Creole seasoning, so I'm going to put a little bit of that in it as well. So I have my ground turkey here in my skillet with some cooking spray, and we're going to get to it. We're going to start by browning the meat. One thing I will note about this recipe is it was not as detailed as other recipes I've seen, but it looks so delicious. I said I have to try it. Like, for example, she just said brown some ground beef. Well, didn't say how much, but I assumed you would use a package, which is a pound. So I'm using ground turkey because this is 0 points, and I'm doing a pounder. I've browned my ground turkey, and I want to make note that I seasoned it to taste. As I mentioned, this recipe kind of left some of the measurements out when it came to other things other than the special sauce that we're going to be using for our egg roll. So she didn't give any suggestions for it. She just said, which is common, just season the meat to taste. Salt, pepper, and of course you all know I like my Creole seasoning, so I put that in there. And I browned up my lean ground turkey, and I'm ready to continue with my egg roll process. I'm so excited, y'all. I have a recipe for a Big Mac salad that I make, and it's really good. So I know these egg rolls, they're just gonna take the cake. All right, I have my meat here, and I'm gonna set this to the side while I chop up the onion and the pickles that will go inside of the egg roll. So of course I have my handy dandy Amazon chopper, and hopefully the onion won't make me cry too much this week. You don't have any tips so this onion won't make me cry? I know I've seen a few things on the internet about how you can chop up onion and it not make you cry, but I haven't had any success with it. Have you all had any success with anything that you can use to help you not cry when you chop up onion? Because honestly, it makes me not want to even do it. I want to buy a frozen onion, but of course you can't use frozen onion in things like this, but it's a big deterrent for me when it comes to chopping up onion. So let me know in the comments. Do you all have anything that you do when you chop up onion? Whew, that wasn't too bad, but I won't say it didn't make my eyes water at all. It's not as bad as it normally is since I have that handy dandy Amazon chopper, but it burned a little bit. Now we're gonna chop up some pickles, because guess what? What comes on a Big Mac? You got onion, lettuce, pickle, and that all special what? That all special sauce. So we're gonna make a skinny sauce to go in our Big Mac egg roll. Again, as I mentioned, she didn't quite give exact measurements in the recipe for everything. So I would say this is about a half a cup of pickle, and I probably won't, this was a whole onion, I probably used about a half of this onion, so about a cup of the onion in the egg rolls. But as we're making them, we'll see how much I use. So I've got all of my ingredients ready for the egg rolls. Now it's time for what? You got it, that special sauce. So the recipe says to use sweet relish. Well, if you don't know by now, Tasty Ness, she improvised. Didn't have any sweet relish, but guess what? I got some dill relish. And you know, when you Google, you can find substitutions for anything on the internet. So I Googled and it said that I should add a little mustard, a little honey, some ketchup, and some dried or dehydrated onion to the dill relish in order to make it sweet relish. So for the recipe, it says use a tablespoon and a half of sweet relish. And I have dill relish, but we're about to make it sweet right here. Again, what I Googled, it didn't say exactly how much of each of these to put in there. So it would be to taste, till it gets to the point where it tastes like sweet relish to you. I am going to measure the honey because honey can accumulate quite a bit of points. So I'm only going to use about 1/4 teaspoon of the honey. I'm using my G Hughes sugar-free ketchup. No need to measure that. I'm only going to be using a little, and you can have 2 tablespoons of this for 0 points, which I won't be using. A little bit of the dehydrated onion. Again, 0 points. And it says to add a little sweetener in there, sugar. So I'm going to be using some equal. I'm going to start off with 1 packet and then I'll taste it. See if I need another. That's sweet relish. I think we did it. So we've got our sweet relish that's going to go in our special sauce. And now we're ready to put together our other ingredients that go in our special sauce. It says a 1/2 cup of plain Greek yogurt or Light Mayo. So the plain Greek yogurt is 0 points on the blue plan for Weight Watchers, which is what I use. So I'm going to use majority Greek yogurt and then just put in a little of the Light Mayo to kind of balance it out. So I'm going to use a 1/2 cup of the Greek yogurt, which is 0 points, and then I'm going to use a tablespoon of the Light Mayo. A tablespoon of the Light Mayo is only 1 point. And I'm going to use my 1½ tablespoons of sweet relish that I made. A tablespoon of mustard. There's a tablespoon of white vinegar, which I have here. Teaspoon of the garlic powder. Teaspoon of ground mustard, teaspoon of onion powder, teaspoon of paprika, and 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. But you know, we use black pepper here. right, we're gonna mix up our special sauce and then begin to form our egg rolls. It says that we're gonna put a smear of the sauce inside of our egg rolls, and then the rest will be used for dipping. Tastes good. Tastes like that Big Mac sauce. So I'm gonna clean up my area. And then I'm going to lay out everything that will go in my egg rolls. I have my special sauce. I'll be putting onion, pickle, ground turkey, fat-free cheese, and cabbage inside of the egg roll. So I'm going to clean off my area. Now that I have my special sauce ready, I have some cabbage here, ground turkey, chopped onion, pickle, cheese, and some water to seal our egg roll wrap. Now, the egg roll wrap that I got are 2 points. So these are the only ones that I found at my local grocery store. So I had to Google actually how to wrap them up and make sure they stay together. So fingers crossed that this technique that I read about works. So I have, it says to lay the egg roll flat on a flat surface. Again, the recipe doesn't say how much meat to put in each egg roll. She just says add a little meat. The only thing she says is a tablespoon of the cheese. And this is, again, fat-free cheddar cheese. We're ready to make our egg rolls. She says to start off with a smear of our special sauce. Then a little bit of the ground turkey, or whatever meat you choose. I think she used ground beef, but I used ground turkey. Some onion, a little pickle, using cabbage for the lettuce since it is an egg roll, and a tablespoon of the fat-free cheese. Alrighty, this is the testing part. So I am to put a little water on the edges. You're gonna wrap it up. It says to go from the side, go from the back, then the side. Alrighty. Looks like we have an egg roll. Another smear. That one didn't quite fold as well. Alright, got those two there. One of them, you know, this is my first time making egg rolls, so this is a practice lesson for me, learning lessons as I go along. One note I will make sure that you don't put too much stuffing in there. I'm learning that. And then make sure that you are folding the corners tightly before you roll it up. And I'm going to go ahead and speed up this process and get them all made and pop them in the air fryer. I'm so excited. I can't wait. So that turned out pretty good, I think. I have my egg rolls rolled up. One thing I would say, I use water to line the edges of the wraps before I roll them. That was helpful, not too much water. And then of course make sure that you don't stuff them with too much of the ingredients so that they fold nicely. And we're about ready to put them in the air fryer. Yes. So it says to cook them for 12 minutes on 380 and flipping once halfway through the process to spray on both sides. And we're going to put a little sesame seed on there just like that sesame seed bun for the Big Mac. It's going to be on with that dipping sauce. I can't wait. So I've already got my air fryer set and I'm going to spray on one side, then spray on the other side. And then I'm going to put it in the air fryer and then sprinkle the sesame seeds on it. course, I'm using cooking spray. And I was able to get about 5 in here. We want them to lay flat, don't want it crowded out. So we're gonna cook these 5 up and see how we go. So while that's cooking, let's talk about our tasty tip for today. Substitution is the name of the game. And how appropriate is this recipe? I would say that if there's something that I really like and it's high in calories and probably not something I should incorporate in my diet on a regular basis, I find a lower calorie substitute for it, and that has really helped me along the way. I found substitutes for Philly cheesesteak sandwiches. I have these egg rolls here that's going to kind of give me a taste of a Big Mac if that was one of my favorite things to eat. I've done the Big Mac salad that gives you the taste of the filling of the Big Mac without the bread. I've recently found some new 1-point keto buns that I can use. Substitution is the name of the game when it comes to me being able to maintain my weight loss over the years. If it's something I really like, I find a substitution for it. Just like that carrot cake muffin that I made on last week. That was a good substitute for a carrot cake. When you find those substitutions, you don't feel like you're eliminating so much out of your diet. You don't feel deprived. And to me, it kind of keeps your palate excited. And it keeps you excited along this journey because there are always exciting and healthy ways to eat the foods that you love. So substitution is the name of the game for me. Finding a substitute for those things that I like. That's the tasty tip for today. It's party time. Let's check them out. They look right, y'all. They look right. Can't wait to give them a taste. Looks delicious. I got my special sauce for dipping. Each one of these is going to be 2 points, but just for the points for the wrapper. That's it. Y'all ready to give it a taste? Of course, I'm going to dip it in my sauce. Tastes like a Big Mac and an egg roll. Everything, Erica, you're right. It's delicious. I love it. Just want to say thank you all for joining me for another episode of Tasty Nest. Hope you have an amazing week. See you next week.